Today's August 27th, Tuesday, and in Language Arts for Grammar today, we focused on nouns, and this starts what we're going to be doing for the next few days as a review of all the different parts of speech, just to make sure that we all are working with the same terminology and definitions. So our focus is going to be on the parts of speech. And every day we'll add to these notes maybe one or two different things or different parts of speech. So the first part of speech we talked about today was nouns. And we started with a definition which students were very easily able to come up with. A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea. And we say it's a word because when we talk about grammar, that's what grammar is. It's the building of sentences using different words. So it's a word that names a person, a place, a thing, or idea. So we started giving some different examples of nouns. So we looked at a noun that names a person. And most classes first gave a name. And so we talked a little bit about what makes this noun a special noun, and the fact that it's capitalized tells us it's specific, and we had a name for those. Those are called proper nouns. And if we don't have a proper noun, the opposite of that is a common noun. If it's not capitalized, it's just naming any old regular everyday noun. It's called a common noun. So a common noun that we could also use to talk about Bob is he is a man. So we've got common and proper, and this works with either of these parts of the definition. So if we look at a place, we could say CMS, as Chardon Middle School, is a proper noun that names a place, or we could just say it's a school as a common noun. We also have nouns that name things, a desk, a chair. And then we spent a little more time talking about idea nouns because these are a little bit harder to figure out. And we decided that these are nouns that you can't see, you can't touch, and they don't necessarily all have the same meaning that everybody could agree with. So we talked about the word sadness. And I used the example of me watching a commercial and crying as I thought about my children getting older and going to college, and that is sadness. And students in the class did not agree that that's something that would make them sad. So it's kind of a definition that varies for everybody, but it's the idea of sadness. So it is a noun. And so we call that kind of a noun an abstract noun. And we compared that to abstract art. If you went to look at a painting of something in a museum and you saw a bunch of splatters of paint and saw a title next to it said, A Walk in the Woods, and you looked at it and you didn't see any trees or any paths or any leaves, it wouldn't make much sense to you. But to whoever had created that painting, it definitely has its own meaning. So it's abstract. It's a concept that not everybody can necessarily agree with. So we compare abstract. The opposite of that then would be concrete. And so we could all agree that Bob is Bob if he was in the room. We can all agree what a man is, what Chardon Middle School is, what a school is, and what a desk is. There's no discrepancy between them. So some other terms we talked about were singular and plural. We could say there's one man versus many men. And then we talked about possessives. Possessive nouns, and those are nouns that show ownership. And so all these terms are terms that we've associated with nouns through the many years that we've been studying them. And so the only new term that I introduced to students today was the term collective. And we looked at this little word inside of their collective as collection or collecting. And so when we think of a collection or collecting something, we're thinking of something, a group of something that we have many of, a collection of coins, a collection of baseball cards. And so by its name, when we think of one single collection, it's already indicating that there's more than one. And it sounds like it might be plural, but it's not. Another example would be team, one team. If I was thinking about the football team running out on the field, I'm already picturing more than one person. But the team itself is singular. There's one of them. Some others would be all the nouns that we use to describe groups of animals, a gaggle of geese, a school of fish. So collective nouns are nouns that name more than one, even in their singular form. And so this is the only new term for 7th grade. So we wanted to come up with an easy way, a hint that we could use if we were looking at a sentence and we wanted to figure out which words were nouns. What's a good rule that we could apply to most nouns? And we decided that you can put the word the in front of most nouns. And so we did that little test and compared it to the nouns that we had an example of up here. The Bob didn't work. The man, the CMS didn't work. The school, the desk, and the sadness I felt when I watched a commercial. So all of those most of those worked with putting the in front of them, except for our proper nouns. And so that seemed to help us make a little bit more of a specific rule that we could use. So when we're looking at a noun, we can put the in front of nouns that are common nouns. And so we did a little test here and to see if we could go through and find all the nouns. And our hint was that we could put the in front of them. So we can't say the, we can't say the black, but we can say the cat. We can't say the with, the shiny, the yellow, the eyes worked. The quickly, the crossed, the my, the path, the and, the it, the brought, the me, the very, the bad, the luck works. So all of these words are nouns, and we can identify them using our little hint. So tomorrow we'll talk about verbs, and you will see a new screencast.